Dipsychus, Part 2. Arthur Hugh Clough. Less than B greater than scene I. The interior arcade of the Doge's palace. Less than slash B greater than less than I greater than SB. Less than slash I greater than thunder and rain. Oh dear, oh dear. But see, a noble shelter here, this grand arcade where our Venetian has formed of Gothic and of Grecian a combination strange, but striking, and singularly to my liking. Let moderns reap where ancients sowed, I at least make it my abode. And now let us hear your famous ode, through the great sinful how. Did it go on? For principles of art and so on I care perhaps about 3 curses, but hold myself a judge of verses. Less than I greater than die. Less than slash I greater than my brain was lightened when my tongue had said, Christ is not risen. Less than I greater than SB. Less than slash I greater than well, now it s anything but clear. What is the tone that s taken here? What is your logic? What is your theology? Is it, or is it not, neology? That is a great fault. You read this and that, and here and there, and nothing flat. Yet writing s golden word, what is it, but the 3 syllables explicit? Say, if you cannot help it, less, but what should you put express. I fear that rule 1T meets your feeling, you think half showing, half concealing, is God's own method of revealing. Less than I greater than die. Less than slash I greater than to please my own poor mind. To find repose, to physic the sick soul. To furnish vent to diseased humors in the moral frame. Less than I greater than SB. Less than slash I greater than a sort of Seton, I suppose, a moral bleeding at the nose HM. And the tone too, after all, something of the ironical? Sarcastic, say. Or were it fitter to style it the religious bitter? Less than I greater than die. Less than slash I greater than interpret it I cannot, I but wrote it. Less than I greater than SB. Less than slash I greater than perhaps. But none that read can doubt it, there is a strong smell about it. Heavens! At your years your time to fritter upon a critical hair splitter. Take larger views and quit your Germans from the analogy and sermons. I fancied you must doubtless know Butler had proved an age ago, that in religious as profane things 'twas useless trying to explain things. Many's business wits, the only sane things, these and compliance are the main things. God, revelation, and the rest of it, bad at the best, we make the best of it. Like a good subject and wise man, believe whatever things you can. Take your religion as 'twas found you, and say no more of it, confound you. And now I think the rain has ended. And the less said, the soonest mended. Less than B greater than scene 2. In a gondola. Less than slash B greater than less than I greater than SB. Less than slash I greater than per aura. To the Grand Canal. Afterwards en as fancy shall. Less than I greater than die. Less than slash I greater than afloat. We move. Delicious. Ah, what else is like the gondola? This level floor of liquid glass begins beneath us swift to pass. It goes as though it went alone by some impulsion of its own. How light it moves, how softly. Ah, were all things like the gondola. How light it moves, how softly. Ah, could life, as does our gondola, unvexed with quarrels, aims and cares, and moral duties and affairs, and swaying, noiseless, swift and strong, forever thus glide along. How light we move, how softly. Ah, were life but as the gondola, with no more motion than should bear a freshness to the languid air, with no more effort than expressed the need and naturalness of rest, which we beneath a grateful shade should take on peaceful pillows laid. How light we move, how softly. Ah, were life but as the gondola. In one unbroken passage borne to closing night from opening morn, uplift at whiles slow eyes to mark some palace front, some passing bark. Through windows catch the varying shore, and hear the soft turns of the oar. How light we move, how softly. Ah, were life but as the gondola. So live, nor need to call to mind our slaving brother here behind. Less than I greater than SB. Less than /I greater than poo. Nature meant him for no better than our most humble menial debtor, who thanks us for his day's employment as we our purse for our enjoyment. Less than I greater than die. Less than /I greater than to make one as fellow man an instrument. Less than I greater than SB. Less than /I greater than is just the thing that makes him most content. Less than I greater than die. Less than /I greater than our gaieties, our luxuries, our pleasures and our glee, mere insolence and wantonness, alas! They feel to me. How shall I laugh and sing and dance? My very heart recoils, while here to give my mirth a chance a hungry brother toils. The joy that does not spring from joy which I in others see, how can I venture to employ, or find it joy from me? Less than I greater than SB. Less than /I greater than oh come, come, come. By him that sent us here, who has to enjoy it all, pray let us hear? You want tea? He can tea. Oh, no more fuss. What is it to him, or he to us? Sing, sing away, be glad and gay, and don't ye forget that we shall pay. Less than I greater than die. Less than /I greater than yes, it is beautiful ever, let foolish men rail at it never. Yes, it is beautiful truly, my brothers, I grant it ye duly. Wise are ye others that choose it, and happy ye all that can use it. Life it is beautiful wholly, and could we eliminate only this interfering, enslaving, mastering demon of craving, this wicked tempter inside us true and still eager to guide us, life were beatitude, action a possible pure satisfaction. Less than I greater than SB. Less than /I greater than hexameters, by all that is odious, beshod with rhyme to unmelodious. Less than I greater than die. Less than /I greater than all as I go on my way I behold them consorting and coupling. Faithful it seemeth, and fond. Very fond, very possibly faithful. All as I go on my way with the pleasure sincere and unmingled. Life it is beautiful truly, my brothers, I grant it ye duly. But for perfection attaining is one method only, abstaining. Let us abstain, for we should so, if only we thought that we could so. Less than I greater than SB. Less than /I greater than bravo, bravissimo. This time though ye rather were run short for rhyme though. Not that on that account your verse could be much better or much worse. This world is very odd we see, we do not comprehend it. But in one fact we all agree, God won tea, and we can tea mend it. Being common sense, it can tea be sent to take it as I find it. The pleasure to take pleasure in. The pain, try not to mind it. Less than I greater than die. Less than /I greater than oh let me love my love unto myself alone, and know my knowledge to the world unknown. No witness to the vision call, beholding, unbeheld of all. And worship thee, with thee withdrawn, apart, woer, whate'er thou art, within the closest veil of mine own inmost heart. Better it were, thou sayest, to consent, feast while we may, and live ere life be spent. Close up clear eyes, and call the unstable sure, the unlovely lovely, and the filthy pure. In self-belyings, self-deceivings roll, and lose in action, passion, talk, the soul. Nay, better far to mark off thus much hair, and call it heaven. Place bliss and glory there. Fix perfect homes in the unsubstantial sky, and say, what is not, will be by and by. What here exists not must exist elsewhere. But play no tricks upon thy soul, O man. Let fact be fact, and life the thing it can. Less than I greater than SB. Less than /I greater than to these remarks so sage and clerkly, Worthy of Malebranche or Berkeley, I trust it won't be deemed a sin if I to answer with a grin. These juicy meats, this flashing wine, may be an unreal mere appearance. Only from my inside, in fine, they have a singular coherence. Oh yes, my pensive youth, abstain. And any empty sick sensation, remember, anything like pain is only your imagination. Trust me, I've read your German sage to far more purpose than you did. You find it in his wisest page, whom God deludes is well deluded. Less than I greater than die. Less than / I greater than where are the great, whom thou would saint while to praise thee? Where are the pure, whom thou would saint choose to love thee? Where are the brave, to stand supreme above thee, whose high commands would cheer, whose chiding, raise thee? Seek, seeker, in thyself. Submit to find in the stones, bread, and life in the blank mind. Written in London, standing in the park, one evening in July, just before dark. Less than I greater than SB. Less than / I greater than as I sat at the cafe, I said to myself, they may talk as they please about what they call pelf, they may sneer as they like about eating and drinking, but help it I cannot help thinking, how pleasant it is to have money, hey-oh. How pleasant it is to have money. I sit at my table in Grand Ignore, and when I have done, throw a crust to the poor. Not only the pleasure, one us self, of good living, but also the pleasure of now and then giving. So pleasant it is to have money, hey-oh. So pleasant it is to have money. It was but last winter I came up to town, but already I am getting a little renown. I make new acquaintance where'er I appear. I am not too shy, and have nothing to fear. So pleasant it is to have money, hey-oh. So pleasant it is to have money. I drive through the streets, and I care not a d-n. The people they stare, and they ask who I am. And if I should chance to run over a cad, I can pay for the damage if ever so bad. So pleasant it is to have money, hey-oh. So pleasant it is to have money. We stroll to our box and look down on the pit, and if it weren't too low should be tempted to spit. We loll and we talk until people look up, and when it's half over we go out to sup. So pleasant it is to have money, hey-oh. So pleasant it is to have money. The best of the tables and the best of the fare, and as for the others, the devil may care. It isn't our fault if they dare not afford to sup like a prince and be drunk as a lord. So pleasant it is to have money, hey-oh. So pleasant it is to have money. We sit at our tables and tipple champagne. One bottle goes, comes another again. The waiters they skip and they scuttle about, and the landlord attends us so civilly out. So pleasant it is to have money, hey-oh. So pleasant it is to have money. It was but last winter I came up to town, but already I am getting a little renown. I get to good houses without much ado, am beginning to see the nobility too. So pleasant it is to have money, hey-oh. So pleasant it is to have money. Oh dear! What a pity they ever should lose it. For they are the gentry that know how to use it. So grand and so graceful, such manners, such dinners, but yet, after all, it is we are the winners. So pleasant it is to have money, hey-oh. So pleasant it is to have money. Thus I sat at my table in Grand Ignore, and when I had done threw a crust to the poor. Not only the pleasure, one us self, of good eating, but also the pleasure of now and then treating. So pleasant it is to have money, hey-oh. So pleasant it is to have money. They may talk as they please about what they call pelf, and how one ought never to think of one us self, and how pleasures of thought surpass eating and drinking. My pleasure of thought is the pleasure of thinking. How pleasant it is to have money, hey-oh. How pleasant it is to have money. Written in Venice, but for all parts true, 'twas not a crust I gave him, but a sous. A gondola here, and a gondola there, 'tis the pleasantest fashion of taking the air. To right and to left. Stop, turn, and go yonder, and let us repeat, o'er the tide as we wander, how pleasant it is to have money, hey-oh! How pleasant it is to have money. Come, leave your Gothic, worn-out story, San Giorgio and the Redentari. I from no building, gay or solemn, can spare the shapely Grecian column. 'Tis not, these centuries for not our European world of thought hath made familiar to its home the classic mind of Greece and Rome. In all new work that would look forth to more than antiquarian worth, Palladio's pediments and bases, or something such, will find their places, mature optics Dante delight and childish dim religious light, in evanescent vague effects that shirk, not face one's intellects. They love not fancies just betrayed, and artful tricks of light and shade, but pure form nakedly displayed, and all things absolutely made. The Doge's palace though, from hence, in spite of doctrinaire pretense, the tide now level with the quay, is certainly a thing to see. We'll turn to the Rialto soon. One is told to see it by the moon. A gondola here, and a gondola there, 'tis the pleasantest fashion of taking the air. To right and to left. Stop, turn, and go yonder, and let us reflect, o'er the flood as we wander, how pleasant it is to have money, hey-oh! How pleasant it is to have money. Less than I greater than die. Less than / I greater than how light we go, how soft we skim, and all in moonlight seems to swim. The south side rises o'er our bark, a wall impenetrably dark. The north is seen profusely bright. The water, is it shade or light? Say, gentle moon, which conquers now the flood, those massy holes, or thou? How light we go, how softly. Ah, were life but as the gondola. How light we go, how soft we skim. And all in moonlight seem to swim. In moonlight is it now, or shade? In plains of sure division made, by angles sharp of palace walls the clear light and the shadow falls. O sight of glory, sight of wonder! Seen, a pictorial portent, under, O great Rialto, the vast round of thy thrice solid arch profound. How light we go, how softly. Ah, life should be as the gondola. How light we go, how softly less than I greater than sb. Less than / I greater than nay. For heaven, enough of that today I am deadly weary of your tune, and half an eye with the moon. The shadows lie, the glories fall, and are but moonshine after all. It goes against my conscience really to let myself feel so ideally. Come, for the piazza to steer. 'Tis 9 o'clock are very near. These airy blisses, ski joys of vague romantic girls and boys, which melt the heart and the brain soften, when not affected, as too often they are, remind me, I protest, of nothing better at the best than Timonius' feast to his ancient lovers, warm water under silver covers. Lap, dogs. I think I hear him say, and lap will, so I am away. Less than I greater than die. Less than / I greater than how light we go, how soft we skim. And all in moonlight seem to swim. Against bright clouds projected dark, the white dome now, reclined I mark, and, by o'er brilliant lamps displayed, the Doge's columns in arcade. Over still waters mildly come the distant waters and the hum. How light we go, how softly. Ah, life should be as the gondola. How light we go, how soft we skim, and all in open moonlight swim. Gondolier, slow, slow, more slow we go. But wherefore thus should go? Ah, let not muscle all too strong beguile, betray thee to our wrong. On to the landing, onward. Nay, sweet dream, a little longer stay. On to the landing. Here. And, ah, life is not as the gondola. Less than I greater than sb. Less than / I greater than Turor. So. The Parthenone is it? You haunt for your lemon. Let me induce you to join me, in Gromulate Persich. less than B greater than Scene 3. The Academy at Venice. Less than slash B greater than less than I greater than die. Less than slash I greater than a modern daub it was, perchance, I know not, but the connoisseur from Titian as Hughes, I dare be sure, had never turned one kindly glance, where Byron, somewhat dressed up, draws his sword, impatient long, and speaks unto a tribe of motley Greeks his fealty to their good cause. Not far, assumed to mystic bliss, behold the ecstatic virgin rise. Ah, wherefore vainly, to fond eyes that melted into tears for this? Yet if we must live, as would seem, these peremptory heats to claim, ah, not for profit, not for fame, and not for pleasure's giddy dream, and not for piping empty reeds, and not for coloring idle dust. If live we positively must, God's name be blessed for noble deeds. Verses. Well, they're made, so let them go. No more if I can help. This is one way the procreant heat and fervor of our youth escapes, in puff, in smoke, and shapeless words of mere ejaculation, nothing worth, unless to make mature years content to slave in base compliance to the world. I have scarce spoken yet to this strange follower whom I picked up. Ye great gods, tell me where and when, for I remember such long years, and yet he seems new come. I commune with myself. He speaks, I hear him, and resume to myself. Whate'er I think, he adds his comments to, which yet not interrupts me. Scarce I know if ever once directly I addressed him. Let me say it now, for I have strength. Yet what he wants, and what he fain would have, oh, I know all too surely. Not in vain, although unnoticed, has he dogged my ear. Come, we'll be definite, explicit, plain. I can resist, I know. And 'twill be well for colloquy to have used this manlier mood, which is to last, ye chances say how long? How shall I call him? Mephistophiles. Less than I greater than SB. Less than slash I greater than I come. Less than I greater than die. Less than slash I greater than so quick, so eager. Ha! Like an eavesdropping menial on my thought, with something of an exultation too, methinks, out peeping in that springy, jaunty gait. I doubt about it. Shall I do it? Oh! Shame on me. Come. Shall I, my follower, should I conceive? Not that at all I do, 'tis curiosity that prompts my speech, but should I form, a thing to be supposed, a wish to bargain for your merchandise, say what were your demands? What were your terms? What should I do? What should I cease to do? What incense on what altars must I burn? And what abandon? What unlearn, or learn? Religion goes, I take it. Less than I greater than SB. Less than slash I greater than OULL go to church of course, you know. Or at the least will take a pew to send your wife and servants to. Trust me, I make a point of that. No infidelity, that as flat. Less than I greater than die. Less than slash I greater than religion is not in a pew, say some. Cucullus, you hold, facit monicum. Less than I greater than SB. Less than slash I greater than Y, as to feelings of devotion, I interdict all vague emotion. But if you will, for once in all compound with ancient Juvenal orandum est, one perfect prayer for savoir vivre and savoir faire. Theology don't here recommend you, unless, turned lawyer, heaven should send you in your profession's way a case of baptism and prevenient grace. But that is not likely. I am inclined, all circumstances borne in mind, to think, to keep you in due borders, you'd better enter holy orders. Less than I greater than die. Less than slash I greater than on that, my friend, you'd better not insist. Less than I greater than SB. Less than slash I greater than well, 'tis but a good thing Miss D. The item is optional, no doubt. but how to get you bread without? Ull marry. I shall find the lady. Make your proposal, and be steady. Less than I greater than die. Less than slash I greater than marry, ill spirit. And at your sole choice. Less than I greater than SB. Less than slash I greater than de rigueur. Can't he give you a voice? What matter? Oh, trust one who knows you, Ull make an admirable sposo. Less than I greater than die. Less than slash I greater than enough. But action look to that well, mind me. See that some not unworthy work you find me. If man I be, then give the man expression. Less than I greater than SB. Less than slash I greater than of course Ull enter a profession? If not the church, why then the law? By Jove, we'll teach you how to draw. Besides, the best of the concern is I am hand and glove with the attorneys. With them and me to help, don't doubt but in due season Ull come out. Leave Kelly, Cockburn, in the lurch. But yet, do think about the church. Less than I greater than die. Less than slash I greater than 'tis well, ill spirit, I admire your wit. As for your wisdom, I shall think of it. And now farewell. Less than be greater than scene 4. In St. Mark S. Dipsychus alone. Less than slash be greater than the law. 'Twere honester, if 'twere genteel, to say the dung cart. What? Shall I go about, and like the walking show black roam the flags, to see whose boots are dirtiest? Oh, the luck to stoop and clean a pair. Religion, if indeed it be in vain to expect to find in this more modern time that which the old world styled, in old world phrase, walking with God. It seems his newer will we should not think of him at all, but trudge it, and of the world he has assigned us make what best we can. Then love, I scarce can think that these be maddening discords of the mind to pure melodious sequence could be changed, and all the vexed conundrums of our life solved to all time by this old pastoral of a new Adam and a second Eve set in a garden which no serpent seeks. And yet I hold heart can be true to heart, and to hew down the tree which bears this fruit, to do a thing which cuts me off from hope, to falsify the movement of love's mind. To seat some alien trifler on the throne a queen may come to claim that were ill done. What? To the close hand of the clutching Jew hand up that rich reversion. And for what? This would be hard, did I indeed believe 'twould ever fall. That love, the large repose restorative, not to mere outside needs skin deep, but to lead to the total man, exists, I will believe, but so rare, so doubtful, so exceptional, hard to guess. One guessed, so often counterfeit. In brief, a thing not possibly to be conceived an item in the reckonings of the wise. Action, that staggers me. For I had hoped, midst weakness, indolence, frivolity, irresolution, still had hoped. And this seems sacrificing hope. Better to wait, the wise men wait. It is the foolish haste, and ere the scenes are in the slides would play, and while the instruments are tuning, dance. I see Napoleon on the heights intent to arrest that one brief unit of loose time which hands high victory as thread. His marshals fret, his soldiers clamor low, the very guns seem going off of themselves. The cannon strain like hell dogs in the leash. But he waits. And lesser chances and inferior hopes meantime go powering past. Men gnash their teeth. The very faithful have begun to doubt. But they molest not the calm eye that seeks midst all this huddling silver little worth the one thin piece that comes, pure gold. He waits. Oh me, when the great DDN now has broke like a man's hand the horizon's level line, so soon to fill the zenith with rich clouds. Oh, in this narrow interspace, this march, this list and salvage of a glorious time, to despair of the great and sell into the mean. O thou of little faith, what hast thou done? Yet if the occasion coming should find us undexterous, incapable, In light things prove thou the arms thou long sate to glorify, nor fear to work up from the lowest ranks whence come great nature's captains. And high deeds haunt not the fringy edges of the fight, but the pell-mell of men. Oh, what an if and now by lingering here I let them slip, like an unpracticed spire through a glass, still pointing to the blank, too high. And yet, in dead details to smother vital ends which would give life to them. In a deft trick of prentice handling to forget great art, to base mechanical adroitness yield the inspiration and the hope a slave. Oh, and to blast that innocence which, though here it may seem a dull and opening bud, may yet bloom freely in celestial clime. Were it not better done, then, to keep off and see, not share, the strife? Stand out the waltz which fool's world is in? Is it possible? Contamination taints the idler first, and without base compliance, e'en that same which buys bold hearts free course, earth lends not these their pent and miserable standing room. Life loves no lookers on at his great game, and with boyish malice still delights to turn the tide of sport upon the sitters by, and set observers scampering with their notes. Oh, it is great to do and know not what, nor let it here be known. The dashing stream stays not to pick his steps among the rocks, or let his water breaks be chronicled. And though the hunter looks before he leap, 'tis instinct rather than a shaped-out thought that lifts him his bold way. Then, instinct, hail, and farewell hesitation. If I stay, I am not innocent, nor if I go and should I fall beyond redemption lost. Ah, if I had a course like a full stream, if life were as the field of chase. No, no. The life of instinct has, it seems, gone by, and will not be forced back. And to live now I must sluice out myself into canals, and lose all force in ducts. The modern Hotspur shrills not his trumpet of to horse, but consults columns in a railway guide. A demigod of figures. An Achilles of computation. A Verrier Mercury, express come down to do the world with swift arithmetic. Well, one could bear with that, were the end ours, one's choice and the correlative of the soul. To drudge were then sweet service. But indeed the earth moves slowly, if it move at all, and by the general, not the single force of the linked members of the vast machine. In all these crowded rooms of industry, no individual soul has loftier leave than fiddling with a piston or a valve. Well, one could bear that also, one would drudge and do one's petty part, and be content in base manipulation, solaced still by thinking of the leagued fraternity, and of cooperation, and the effect of the great engine. If indeed it work, and is not a mere treadmill, which it may be. Who can confirm it is not? We ask action, and dream of arms and conflict, and string up all self-devotion as muscles, and are set to fold up papers. To what end we know not. Other folks do so. It is always done. And it perhaps is right. And we are paid for it, for nothing else we can be. He that eats must serve, and serve as other servants do, and don the laqueous livery of the house. Oh, could I shoot my thought up to the sky, a column of pure shape, for all to observe. But I must slave, a meager coral worm, to build beneath the tide with excrement what one day will be island, or be reef, and will feed men, or wreck them. Well, well, well. Adieu, ye twisted thinkings. I submit, it must be. Action is what one must get, it is clear. And one could dream it better than one finds, in its kind personal, in its motive not selfish as it now is, nor as now maiming the individual. If we had that, it would cure all indeed. Oh, how would then these pitiful rebellions of the flesh, these caterwaulings of the effeminate heart, these hurts of self-imagined dignity, pass like the seaweed from about the bows of a great vessel speeding straight to sea? Yes, if we could have that. But I suppose we shall not have it, and therefore I submit. less than I greater than SB, less than slash I greater than from within. Submit, submit. 'Tis common sense, and human wit can claim no higher name than it. Submit, submit. Devotion, and ideas, and love, and beauty claim their place above. But saint and sage and poet streams divide the light in colored streams, which this alone gives all combined, the second lumen of the mind called common sense, and no high wit gives better counsel than does it. Submit, submit. To see things simply as they are here at our elbows, transcends far. Trying to spy out at midday some bright particular star, which may, or not, be visible at night, but clearly is not in daylight. No inspiration vague outweighs the plain good common sense that says, submit, submit. 'Tis common sense, and human wit can ask no higher name than it. Submit, submit. Less than be greater than seen via the piazza at 8. Less than slash be greater than less than I greater than die. Less than slash I greater than there have been times, not many, but enough to quiet all repinings of the heart. There have been times, in which my tranquil soul, no longer nebulous, sparse, errant, seemed upon its axis solidly to move, centred and fast. No mere elastic blank for random rays to traverse unretained, but rounding luminous its fair ellipse around its central sun. Yet again, as in more faint sensations I detect, with it too, round an inner, mightier orb, maybe with that too this I dare not say around, yet more central, more supreme, whate'er, how numerous soe'er they be, I am and feel myself, where'er I wind. What vagrant chance soe'er I seem to obey, communicably theirs. O happy hours! O compensation ample for long days of what impatient tongues call wretchedness! O beautiful, beneath the magic moon, to walk the watery way of palaces! O beautiful, o'er vaulted with gemmed blue, this spacious court, with color and with gold, with cupolas, and pinnacles, and points, and crosses multiplex, and tips and balls wherewith the bright stars unreproving mix, nor scorned by hasty eyes to be confused. Fantastically perfect this low pall of oriental glory. These long ranges of classic chiseling, this gay flickering crowd, and the calm campanile. Beautiful. Oh, beautiful. And that seemed more profound, this morning by the pillar when I sat under the great arcade, at the review, and took, and held, and ordered on my brain the faces, and the voices, and the whole mass of the motley facts of existence flowing by. Oh perfect, if 'twere all. But it is not. Hints haunt me ever of the more beyond. I am rebuked by a sense of the incomplete, of a completion over soon assumed, of adding up too soon. What we call sin, I could believe a painful opening out of paths for ampler virtue. The bare field, scant with lean ears of harvest, long had mocked the vexed laborious farmer. Came at length the deep plough and the lazy undersoil down driving. With a cry earth's fibers crack, and a few months, and two. The golden lees, and autumn's crowded shocks and loaded wains. Let us look back on life. Was any change, any now blessed expansion, but at first a pang, remorse-like, shot to the inmost seats of moral being. To do anything, distinct on any one thing to decide, to leave the habitual and the old, and quit the easy chair of use and wont, seems crime to the weak soul, forgetful how at first sitting down seemed so too. And, oh, this woman's heart, fain to be forced, incredulous of choice, and waiting a necessity for God. Yet I could think, indeed, the perfect call should force the perfect answer. If the voice ought to receive its echo from the soul, wherefore this silence? If it should rouse my being, why this reluctance? Have I not thought o'er much of other men, and of the ways of the world? But what they are, or have been, matters not. To thine own self be true, the wise man says. Are then my fears myself? O double self! and I am true to both. Oh, there are hours, when love, and faith, and dear domestic ties, and converse with old friends, and pleasant walks, familiar faces, and familiar books, study, and art, upliftings unto prayer, and admiration of the noblest things, seem all ignoble only. All is mean, and not as I would have it. Then at others, my mind is in her rest, my heart at home and all around, my soul secure in place, and the vexed needle perfect to her poles. Aimless and hopeless in my life I seem to thread the winding byways of the town, bewildered, baffled, hurried hence and thence, all at cross purpose even with myself, unknowing whence or whither. Then at once, at a step, I crown the Campanile's top, and view all mapped below. Islands, lagoon, 100 steeples and 1,000,000 roofs, the fruitful Champagne, and the cloud-capped Alps, and the broad Adriatic. Be it enough? If I lose this, how terrible! No, no, I am contented, and will not complain. To the old paths, my soul. Oh, be it so. I bear the workday burden of dull life about these footsore flags of a weary world, heaven knows how long it has not been. At once, lo! I am in the Spirit on the Lord's day with John in Patmos. Is it not enough, one day in 7? And if this should go, if this pure solace should desert my mind, what were all else I dare not risk this loss. To the old paths, my soul. Less than I greater than SB. Less than / I greater than oh yes. To moon about religion. To inhum your ripened age and solitary walks, for self-discussion. To debate in letters vexed points with earnest friends. Past other men to cherish natural instincts, yet to fear them and less than any use them. Oh, no doubt, in a corner sit and mope, and be consoled with thinking one is clever, while the room rings through with animation and the dance. Then talk of old examples. To pervert ancient real facts to modern unreal dreams, and build up baseless fabrics of romance and heroism upon historic sand. To burn, forsooth, for action, yet despise its merest accidents and alphabet. Cry out for service, and at once rebel at the application of its plainest rules. This you call life, my friend, reality? Doing your duty unto God and man I know not what. Stay at Venice, if you will. Sit musing in its churches hour on hour cross-kneed upon a bench. Climb up it walls the neighboring tower, and kill the lingering day with old comparisons. When night succeeds, evading, yet a little seeking, what you would and would not, turn your doubtful eyes on moon and stars to help morality. Once in a fortnight say, by lucky chance of happier tempered coffee, gain great heaven. A pious rapture, is it not enough? Less than I greater than die. Less than / I greater than 'tis well, thou cursed spirit, go thy way. I am in higher hands than yours. 'Tis well. Who taught you menaces? Who told you, pray, because I asked you questions, and made show of hearing what you answered, therefore less than I greater than SB. Less than / I greater than oh, as if I didn't to know. Less than I greater than die. Less than / I greater than come, my friend, I may have wavered, but I have thought better. We'll say no more of it. Less than I greater than SB. Less than / I greater than oh, I dare say, but as you like. 'Tis your own loss. Once more, beware. Less than I greater than die. Less than / I greater than alone. Must it be then? So quick upon my thought to follow the fulfillment and the deed? I counted not on this. I counted ever to hold and turn it over in my hands much longer, much I took it up indeed, for speculation rather. To gain thought, new data. Oh, and now to be goaded on by menaces, entangled among tricks. That I want to suffer. Yet it is the law. 'Tis this makes action always. But for this we any year should act at all. and act we must. Why quarrel with the fashion of a fact which, one way, must be, one time, why not now? Less than I greater than SB. Less than slash I greater than submit, submit. For tell me then, in earth's great laws have you found any saving clause, exemption special granted you from doing what the rest must do? Of common sense who made you quit, and told you, you'd no need of it, not to submit? To move on angels' wings were sweet, but who would therefore scorn his feet? It cannot walk up to the sky, it therefore will lie down and die. Rich meats at dawn tea obtain at call, it therefore will not eat at all. Poor babe, and yet a babe of wit. But common sense, not much of it, or 'twould submit. Submit, submit. As your good father did before you, and as the mother who first bore you. Oh yes, a child of heavenly birth. But yet it was born too on earth. Keep your new birth for that far day when in the grave your bones you lay, all with your kindred and connection, in hopes of happy resurrection. But how meantime to live is fit, ask common sense. And what says it? Submit, submit. Less than be greater than scene 6. On a bridge. Less than slash be greater than less than I greater than die. Less than slash I greater than 'tis gone, the fierce inordinate desire, the burning thirst for action utterly gone, like a ship that passes in the night on the high seas, gone, yet will come again, gone, yet expresses something that exists. Is it a thing ordained, then? Is it a clue for my life's conduct? Is it a law for me that opportunity shall breed distrust, not passing until the pass? Chance and resolve, like two loose comets wandering wide in space, crossing each other's orbits time on time, meet never. Void indifference and doubt let through the present boon, which any earth turns back to await the after-sure arriving wish. How shall I then explain it to myself, that in blank thought my purpose lives? The uncharged cannon mocking still the spark when come, which ere come it had loudly claimed. Am I to let it be so still? For truly the need exists, I know. The wish but sleeps, and will wake and cry for food. And to put by these unreturning gifts, because the feeling is not with me now, seems folly more than merest babyhood's. But must I then do violence to myself, and push on nature, force desire that's ill, because of knowledge, which is great, but works by rules of large exception, to tell which naught is more fallible than mere caprice. What need for action yet? I am happy now, I feel no lack. What cause is there for haste? Am I not happy? Is not that enough? Depart. Less than I greater than SB. Less than slash I greater than oh yes. You thought you had escaped, no doubt, this worldly fiend that follows you about, this compound of convention and impiety, this mongrel of uncleanness and propriety. What else were bad enough? But, let me say, I too have my grand manières in my way. Could speak high sentiment as well as you, and outblank verse you without much ado. Have my religion also in my kind, for dreaming unfit, because not designed. What? You know not that I too can be serious, can speak big words, and use the tone imperious, can speak, not unidly, of love and beauty, but sternly of a something much like duty. Oh, do you look surprised? We're never told, perhaps, that all that glitters is not gold. The devil oft the Holy Scripture uses, but God can act the devil when he chooses. Farewell. But, verbum sapienti satius, I do not make this revelation gratis. Farewell, beware. Less than I greater than die. Less than slash I greater than ill spirits can quote holy books I knew. What will they not say? What not dare to do? Less than I greater than SB. Less than slash I greater than beware, beware. Less than I greater than die. Less than slash I greater than what, loitering still? Still, O foul spirit, there? Go hence, I tell thee, go. I will beware. Alone. It must be then. I feel it in my soul. The iron enters, sundering flesh and bone, and sharper than the two-edged sword of God. I come into deep waters, help, oh help. The floods run over me. Therefore, farewell. A long and last farewell, ye pious sweet simplicities of life, good books, good friends, and holy moods, and all that lent rough life sweet Sunday seeming rests, making earth heaven-like. Welcome, wicked world, the hardening heart, the calculating brain narrowing its doors to thought, the lying lips, the calm dissembling eyes, the greedy flesh, the world, the devil. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Less than I greater than SB. Less than / I greater than from within. This stern necessity of things on every side our being rings. Our sallying eager actions fall vainly against that iron wall. Where once her finger points the way, the wise thinks only to obey. Take life as she has ordered it, and come what may of it, submit, submit, submit. Who take implicitly her will, for these her vassal chances still bring store of joys, successes, pleasures. But whoso ponders, weighs, and measures, she calls her torturers up to goad with spur and scourges on the road. He does at last with pain what he spurned at first. Of such, beware, beware, beware. Less than I greater than die. Less than / I greater than O God, O God. The great floods of the soul flow over me. I come into deep waters where no ground is. Less than I greater than SB. Less than / I greater than don't be the least afraid. There's not the slightest reason for alarm. I only meant by perhaps rough shake to rouse you from a dreamy, unhealthy sleep. Up, then up, and be going. The large world, the thronged life waits us. Come, my pretty boy, you have been making most of the blank sky quite long enough for good. We'll put you up into the higher form. 'Tis time you learn the second reverence for things around. Up, then, and go amongst them. Don't be timid. Look at them quietly a bit. By and by respect will come, and healthy appetite. So let us go. How now? Not yet awake? Oh, you will sleep yet, will you? Oh, you shirk, you try and slink away. You cannot, eh? Nay now, what folly is this? Why will you fool yourself? Why will you walk about thus with your eyes shut, treating for facts the self-made hues that flash on tight-pressed pupils, which you know are not facts? To use the undistorted light of the sun is not a crime. To look straight out upon the big plain things that stare one in the face does not contaminate. To see pollutes not what one must feel if one want to see what is, and will be too. How are we blink, and must one way or other make itself observed. Free walking better than being led about. And what will the blind man do, I wonder, if someone should cut the string of his dog? Just think. What could you do, if I should go away? Oh, you have paths of your own before you, have you? What shall it take to? Literature, no doubt. Novels, reviews? Or poems? If you please. The strong fresh gale of life will feel, no doubt, the influx of your mouthful of soft air. Well, make the most of that small stock of knowledge you've condescended to receive from me. That is your best chance. Oh, you despise that. Oh, prate then of passions you have known in dreams, of huge experience gathered by the eye. Be large of aspiration, pure in hope, sweet in fond longings, but in all things vague. Breathe out your dreamy scepticism, relieved by snatches of old songs. People will like that, doubtless. Or will you write about philosophy for a waste far off, maybe overlooking the fruitful as close by? Live in metaphysic, with transcendental logic fill your stomach, schematize joy, effugiate meat and drink. Or, let me see, a mighty work, a volume, the complemental of the inferior Kant, the critic of pure practice, based upon the antinomies of the moral sense, for, look you, we cannot act without assuming X, and at the same time Y, it's contradictory. Ergo, to act. People will buy that, doubtless. Or you'll perhaps teach youth. I do not question some downward turn you may find, some evasion of the broad highway-esque glaring white ascent. Teach youth, in a small way, that is, always, so as to have much time left you for yourself. This you can sacrifice, your leisure as precious. Heartily you will not take to anything. Whatever happen, don't I see you still, living no life at all? Even as now an overgrown baby, sucking at the dugs of instinct, dry long since. Come, come, you are old enough for spoon meat surely. Will you go on thus until death end you? If indeed it does. For what it does, none knows. Yet as for you, you'll hardly have the courage to die outright. You'll somehow have even it. Methinks I see you, through everlasting limbos of void time, twirling and twiddling ineffectively, and indeterminately swaying forever. Come, come, spoon meat at any rate. Well, well, I will not persecute you more, my friend. Only do think, as I observed before, what can you do, if I should go away? Less than I greater than die. Less than / I greater than is the hour here, then? Is the minute come the irretrievable instant of stern time? Oh, for a few grains in the running glass, or for some power to hold them. Oh, for a few of all that went so wastefully before. It must be then, e'en now. Less than I greater than SB. Less than / I greater than from within. It must. 'Tis common sense. And human wit can claim no higher name than it. Submit. Necessity. And who shall dare bring to her feet excuse or prayer? Beware. We must. Howe'er we turn, and pause and tremble, howe'er we shrink, deceive, dissemble whate'er our doubting, grief, disgust, the hand is on us, and we must. 'Tis common sense, and human wit can find no better name than it. Submit. Less than be greater than scene 7. At Tarcello. Dipsychus alone. Less than / be greater than less than I greater than die. Less than / I greater than I had a vision. Was it in my sleep? And if it were, what then? But sleep or wake, I saw a great light open o'er my head. And sleep or wake, uplifted to that light, out of that light proceeding heard a voice uttering high words, which, whether sleep or wake, in me were fixed, and in me must abide. When the enemy is near thee, call on us. In our hands we will upbear thee, he shall neither scathe nor scare thee, he shall fly thee, and shall fear thee. Call on us. Call when all good friends have left thee, of all good sights and sounds bereft thee. Call when hope and heart are sinking, and the brain is sick with thinking, help, oh help. Call, and following close behind thee there shall haste, and there shall find thee, help, sure help. When the panic comes upon thee, when necessity seems on thee, hope and choice have all forgone thee, fate and force are closing o'er thee, and but one way stands before thee, call on us, oh, and if thou dost not call, be but faithful, that is all. Go right on, and close behind thee there shall follow still and find thee, help, sure help. Less than be greater than scene 8. In the piazza. Less than / be greater than less than I greater than die. Less than / I greater than not for thy service, thou imperious fiend, not to do thy work, or the like of thine. Not to please thee, O base and fallen spirit. But one most high, most true, whom without thee it seems I cannot. Oh, the misery that one must truck and pack tease with the world to gain the vantage ground to assail it from. To set upon the giant one must first, oh perfidy, have eat the giant as bread. If I submit, it is but to gain time in arms and stature, 'tis but to lie safe until the hour strike to arise and slay. 'Tis the old story of the adder's brood feeding and nestling till the fangs be grown. Were it not nobler done, then, to act fair, to accept the service with the wages, do frankly the devil's work for the devil's pay? Oh, but another my allegiance holds inalienably his. How much soe'er I might submit, it must be to rebel. Submit then sullenly, that is no dishonor. Yet I could deem it better to starve and die untraitored. Oh, who sent me, though? Sent me, and to do something o hard master to do a treachery. But indeed 'tis done. I have already taken of the pay and cursed the pair. Take I must, curse too. Alas! The little strength that I possess derives, I think, of him. So still it is, the timid child that clung unto her skirts, a boy, will slight his mother, and, grown a man, his father too. There's scripture too for that. Do we owe fathers nothing mothers not? Is filial duty folly? Yet he says, he that loves father, mother, more than me. Yea, and the man his parents shall desert, the ordinance says, and cleave unto his wife. O man, behold thy wife, the hard-naked world. Adam, accept thy Eve. So still it is, the tree exhausts the soil. Creepers kill it, their insects them, the lever finds its fulcrum on what it then o'erthrows. The homely spade in labor's hand unscrupulously seeks its first momentum on the very clod which next will be upturned. It seems a law. And am not I, though I but ill recall my happier age, a kidnapped child of heaven, whom these uncircumcised Philistines have by foul play shorn, blinded, maimed, and kept for what more glorious than to make them sport? Wait, then, wait, O my soul. Grow, grow, ye locks. Then perish they, and if need is, I too. Less than I greater than SB. Less than / I greater than aside. A truly admirable proceeding. Could there be finer special pleading when scruples would be interceding? There's no occasion I should stay. He is working out his own queer way. The sum I set him, and this day will bring it, neither less nor bigger, exact to my predestined figure. Less than B greater than C9. In the public garden. Less than / B greater than less than I greater than die. Less than / I greater than 21 past 25 coming on. On third of life departed, nothing done. Out of the mammon of unrighteousness that we make friends, the scripture is express, my spirit, come, we will agree. Content, ull take a moiety. Less than I greater than SB. Less than / I greater than a moiety, ye gods, he. Less than I greater than die. Less than / I greater than 3/4 then? O griping beast. Leave me a decimal at least. Less than I greater than SB. Less than / I greater than O, 1 of 10. To infect the 9 and make the devil a 1 be mine. Oh, 1. To jib all day, God what, when all the rest would go full trot. 1 very little one, eh? To doubt with, just to pause, think, and look about with. In course. You counted on no less, you thought it likely I'd say yes. Less than I greater than die. Less than / I greater than be it then thus since that it must, it seems. Welcome, O world, henceforth. And farewell dreams yet no, Mephisto, no, nor you nor I can in this matter either sell or buy. For the fee simple of this trifling lot to you or me, trust me, pertaineth not. I can but render what is of my will, and behind it somewhat remaineth still. Oh, your sole chance was in the childish mind whose darkness dreamed that vows like this could bind. Thinking all lost, it made all lost, and brought in fact the ruin which had been but thought. Thank heaven, or you, that has passed these many years, and we have knowledge wiser than our fears. So your poor bargain take, my man, and make the best of it you can. Less than I greater than SB. Less than slash I greater than with reservations. Oh, how treasonable. When I had let you off so reasonable. However, I don't fear. Be it so. Brutus is honorable, I know. So mindful of the dues of others, so thoughtful for his poor dear brothers, so scrupulous, considerate, kind he wouldn't leave the devil behind if he assured him he had claims for his good company to hell flames. No matter, the bargain is made. And I for my part will not be afraid. With reservations. Oh. Ho, ho. But time, my friend, has yet to show which of us two will closest fit the proverb of the biter bit. Less than I greater than die. Less than slash I greater than tell me thy name, now it is over. Less than I greater than SB. Less than slash I greater than O. Why, Mephistophiles, you know at least you've lately called me so. Belial it was some days ago. But take your pick. I've got a score never a royal baby more. For a brass plate upon a door. What think you of Cosmo greater? Less than I greater than die. Less than slash I greater than? Group of question marks. And that you were indeed, I do not doubt you. Less than I greater than SB. Less than slash I greater than Ephesians, ain't it? Near the end you dropped a word to spare your friend. What follows, too, in application would be absurd exaggeration. Less than I greater than die. Less than slash I greater than the power of this world. Hateful unto God. Less than I greater than SB. Less than slash I greater than cos margin S shorter, but sounds odd, one wouldn't like, even if a true devil, to be taken for a vulgar Jew devil. Less than I greater than die. Less than slash I greater than yet in all these things we 'tis scripture two or more than conquerors, even over you. Less than I greater than SB. Less than slash I greater than come, don't wonder any longer. Time tests the weaker and the stronger. And we, without procrastination, must set, you know, to our vocation. Oh goodness. Won't you find it pleasant to own the positive and present? To see yourself like people round, and feel your feet upon the ground. Exeunt. Less than be greater than end of Dipsychus. Less than slash be greater than.